The Harwich Mariners return home with an undefeated record of 2-0 to face the winless Falmouth Commodores. This will be the first matchup of 4 this season and the first at Whitehouse Field. The M's are coming off a 3-1 win, a 10-3 win out at Eldridge Park in Orleans against the Firebirds, fueled by 13 hits and lights-out pitching. The Mariners staff only surrendered 4 hits in the ballgame while stranding 9 Firebirds. The Commodores couldn't overpower the Bourne Braves last night and settled for a 3-3 tie after 10 innings. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Al Graber Press Box at Whitehouse Field in Harwich, Massachusetts. My name is Devin Dobeck, and I'm joined by my broadcast partner, Wyatt Kopelman. Wyatt, the Mariners really seemed to have the bats working last night. Do you think this early success at the plate is a facade or the beginning of a memorable season?
I mean, you look at the continuity that Harwich has had within its lineup, especially dating back to last night. You have Matt Scannell, who got a crucial RBI base hit early on in the game, get Harwich ahead, and then, albeit Orleans actually scratched across 3 runs across the final 4 innings, but then you take a look at how Harwich was able to establish its lead going into that 9th inning, getting 4 runs. It's going to be huge for Harwich to be able to find some home run hitting as well to provide the balance in its lineup. Then you also look at the starting pitching that it's gotten 4 innings thus far, and it's been dominant, hardly allowing any hits.
Steve Englert gives the nod to Princeton lefty Tom Chmielewski, while Jeff Trundy counters with Florida State lefty Carson Dorsey. Starting things off will be Gavin Keelan for the Falmouth Commodores. He's in at shortstop today. Chmielewski's first pitch is fouled off right at 6:30. A nice on-time start here at Whitehouse Field. Beautiful night, nice and cool. Overcast skies, just below 70 degrees now with a bit of a breeze blowing through. We had our producer, Sean Sears. He had to buy a sweatshirt as it's getting a little chilly up here in the press box. But without further ado, let's meet the Commodore lineup. Leading off at shortstop is Gavin Keelan. Batting second, the second baseman, Christian Martin. Batting third, the first baseman, Charlie Condon. Batting cleanup, the left fielder, Scott Bondura. Batting fifth, the catcher, Ross Highfill. Batting sixth, the center fielder, Mike Handel. Batting seventh, the third baseman, Michael Eze. Batting eighth, the designated hitter, Tucker Biven. And batting ninth in right is Harrison Povey. After a ball goes by, the count is evened up at 1.
Second baseman from Virginia Tech, number 3, Christian Martin.
Or excuse me. Might have been...
I believe Keelan was actually hit by that one from Tom Chmielewski,
yes,
so he's
sorry.
working out the stretch the first time today.
Just missed that. It's in my blind spot over here while I was reading the lineup, so thank you, Wyatt. Picking up the spare change. Christian Martin set to get things going after the hit by pitch administered to Keelan. Mariners lead the league in being hit by pitches. They've been hit 5 times, 2 of those from Kalen Culpepper. As that breaking ball's dropped in there to quickly make the count 0-2. Or excuse me, 1-1. Chmielewski comes set once again, checks the runner and the pitch. Breaking ball is going to be lifted out to right field. Over there to get it is Scannell, and he'll haul it in for the first out. Mariner defense tonight looks like this. Kennedy Jones is in left, coming off a big 2-hit day. UMass Lowell's Jacob Humphreys in center. Matt Scannell is in right field, teammate of the pitcher in Chmielewski. From left to right in the infield, it's going to be Seaver King, Kalen Culpepper, Ali Camarillo, Hunter Fitzgerald, with Jackson Horning completing the battery for Chmielewski. Charlie Condon now will climb in, and there'll be a pickoff attempt back to first base, but in there without a dive is Keelan.
Chmielewski making his season debut here today. Has pitched more than 130 innings in 2 seasons at Princeton, career ERA of 5.56. We'll see how he takes the next step here as he already works.
As that one gets by the catcher and Horning, and down to second with a pop-up slide is Keelan. Horning unable to get that one. Of course, Horning just finishing up at Skidmore, now transferring to Kansas State, going to be a Wildcat. So congrats, going from D3 to D1. That's going to be awesome. Kalen Culpepper, of course, also a Wildcat. 1-0 pitch on the outside corner for a strike. Ali Camarillo also with some transfer news. He will be going to Texas A&M. He's out of Cal State Northridge. A lot of family in the house for him here tonight, and he had a great game last night. Pair of hits and some great defense. 1-1. It's going to be chopped foul over to the left, and it'll be 1-2.
Not an easy upper third of the lineup, Devin. Charlie Condon, the Georgia product now here. He led the Bulldogs in home runs this season for the 7th most in Division I baseball. Played for the St. Cloud Rocks of the Northwoods League last year and was right at the top of about every hitting category. So we'll see how he fares here against the Southpaw Shimoleski.
1-2. This is going to be flared into right field. Back is Scannell, now coming into his left. Makes the catch, tagging up, headed to third is Keelan. And the throw almost in time, but it'll be a sac fly for Condon.
Condon sitting back on that one with that large frame he has in the batter's box. Pulled it the other way. Move to sacrifice hit into the score here. And Scott Bandura coming up here already with a prime opportunity. A little bit more sense of ease just to be able to bring a run home. You don't have to shoot this one into the power alley, Devin.
Absolutely not. And Scott Bandura, going to be a cool opportunity for him to face Shimoleski. A couple Princeton Tigers going at it. Big swing and miss at a pitch up in the zone to make the count 0-1 to start. This past season, Bandura hit .363 for the Tigers in his 47 games. Also had 12 homers, so you can see why he's in Jeff Trundy's cleanup spot. That pitch misses just a little low, and it'll be 1-1. More noticeable for Bandura, he had a .454 on-base percentage, so just about every other time he went up to the plate, he found himself on base. Really reliable and can hit for power. The 1-1. Breaking ball misses just inside. It's 2-1.
Slider's been relatively effective that time from Chmielewski. Just has to be able to locate a little bit better here. Is locating it well at the belt thus far, though.
2-1 pitch is going to be foul tipped into the ground, and it'll be even at 2. Commodores 90 feet away from taking the first lead in this ball game. They are 0-1-1 on the season. Lost a barn burner with the Wareham Gatemen on opening day, 11-10, and then tied with the Bourne Braves yesterday, 3-3. This pitch is going to be popped into foul territory over towards the Mariner bullpen. Back over to get it is going to be King, but it escapes out of play. So we'll do it again.
Sam Armstrong working a lot of pitches back in his season debut on opening night here. We'll see how Chmielewski works here. 2 outs, you have a chance to at least get some ground ball contact. Already getting 2 flyouts thus far.
Mariners defense is tied for the best in the league through 2 games thus far. They have a .986 defensive fielding percentage, just the 1 error. Falmouth, on the other hand, the worst through 2 games. We'll get a little more into that on the other side of the break. Here comes the 2-2. Breaking ball, chop foul once again, and Bandura is able to stay alive. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Deuce is wild, and the pitch. Misses down below in the dirt. Nice stop that time by Horning, and the runner stays put. It's now a full count.
Armstrong got caught in 5 straight full count pitches dealt Devin. Interesting to see here if he could pick up his first strikeout. Someone who was the 8th best high school pitcher here in the state of Massachusetts.
This one's going to be grounded up the middle and over to Culpepper. His throw is too late and gets by the first baseman and Fitzgerald and into the Commodore dugout. So that will be an error on Kalen Culpepper. Not sure if he would have been able to get the runner at first base, but the throw will lead to an error, and it's going to be scored as an error as well.
At an infield single there, Culpepper has been excellent on the left side of the infield, but that time, short dribbler up into the middle infield, just on the trailing of the outfield grass. Culpepper staying with the play, but the ball was rolling so slowly, I don't even know if anyone else would be able to get it, even if it was the second baseman in Camarillo.
So the Commodores lead 1-0 and threatening for more early on. Ross Highfill will step in. Highfill in 2023 with the Mississippi State Bulldogs hit a measly .231 for the club, but had 9 home runs, a real power threat. It's in that 5 spot for Trundy, and the breaking ball drops in there. It's quickly going to be 0-2. Chmielewski this past season with the Tigers had a 3.40 ERA in his 13 games. They were all starts. 73 strikeouts to just 19 walks. Did allow 74 hits, though. This one's going to be grounded over to Culpepper. Another chance for him. He gathers and fires onto first, just barely in time. And the inning comes to an end. But the Commodores strike first after Gavin Keelan being hit by the pitch came all the way around to score without a hit. 1-0 Commodores. We head to the bottom of the first, and we'll meet the Mariner lineup on the other side. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back to Whitehouse Field. Devin Dobek, Wyatt Kopelman along with you. And let's meet the Mariners starting lineup. Steve Engler in search of his 400th win here tonight. Quite the milestone. Jeff Trundy hit his 500th win last season, so Engler trying to join the 400 club. And let's see who he's putting to the test for himself. Leading off will be the center fielder, Jacob Humphrey. Batting second, the second baseman, Ali Camarillo. Batting third, the shortstop, Kalen Culpepper. Batting cleanup, the left fielder, Kennedy Jones. Batting fifth, the first baseman, Hunter Fitzgerald. Batting sixth, the third baseman, Seaver King. Batting seventh, the right fielder, Matt Scannell. Batting eighth, the designated hitter, Kenny Lavari, the only Mariner who's reached base every time he's come to the plate thus far in the season. And batting ninth, the catcher, Jackson Horning.
Good mix of right-handers and left-handers in the lineup, Devin, but it's working with its first deficit on the season here. Remember 2 nights ago here on opening night at Whitehouse Field, it was a 4-1 ball game before it was a 2-run double back in the 9th inning that brought into a safe situation. Jacob Gomez was able to come through. Harwich has been great in the second inning this season, establishing leads. We'll see if it can advance here in building that sooner.
First pitch to Humphrey misses way up, and it'll be 1-0. On the mound, Carson Dorsey for the Commodores. He was with Florida Gulf Coast this past season. 14 appearances, 13 of them starts. Posted a 2-4, or Gulf Coast State College, excuse me. Thank you for the correction. 7-1 with a 2.43 ERA across his 66 2/3 innings pitched. 99 strikeouts, just 29 walks. A real flamethrower. Count is even at 1 now to Humphrey, who recorded his first Cape League hit yesterday. Big swing and miss that time, and it'll be 1-2. Falmouth wearing their road black uniform, says Falmouth across the chest in maroon. Gray pants, maroon socks, and black hats with the Falmouth F on it, all trimmed in white. That pitch makes its way upstairs to be a 2-2 count. Mariners in their home cream uniforms with blue lettering and numbers, all trimmed in red. Cream pants as well with navy socks. And Humphrey foul tips that one into the catcher's mitt, and that will be out number 1.
You mentioned the high number of strikeouts that Dorsey's capable of dealing. Able to work in the mix of the fastball, the breaking ball there. He had 18 strikeouts in his first 11 innings this season at Gulf Coast State. Very much capable of being able to keep this Harwich Mariners lineup quiet by the way of the K early.
Camarillo climbs in, the newest Texas A&M Aggie. We'll see what he can do in his first chance at Carson Dorsey. Dorsey rocks and delivers. That one misses just outside to make it 1-0. Camarillo was at Cal State Northridge, where he had another fine season. He's been great for the Mariners thus far. Lifts this one into shallow left field. Coming in is Bandura, and he puts it away for out number 2. And we'll meet the Falmouth Commodores lineup. In the outfield from left to right, it's going to be Scott Bandura, Mike Handel, and Harrison Povey. Third to first in the infield, Michael Eze, Gavin Keelan, Christian Martin, and Charlie Condon, with Scott Highfill doing the catching for Dorsey. Falmouth defense comes in last in the league. They have 6 errors in the 923 defensive rating. 1-0 to start Culpepper here. He also notched his first hit in the win yesterday. 1-0 count as Dorsey comes set the pitch. Breaking ball is dropped in there for a strike, and we're even at 1. Culpepper back at shortstop for the Mariners after being at third last night. Made an incredible leaping grab over at third base as another breaking ball just misses. And so Culpepper now ahead in the count 2-1. Between Culpepper and Camarillo, it has been a treat to watch this Harwich defense go to work. They've made some serious plays. This will be 3-1 to Culpepper.
Harwich having the most runs scored in the league this season through 2 games. Highest run differential of 8 right now, trailing 1-0.
The pitch. This is just outside, and that will be a walk. Kalen Culpepper, all too familiar with the walks. He's been hit by 2 pitches already this season. And so he'll take his free 90 feet down to first base.
Not the highest risk and a relatively high reward as well. Culpepper getting his first walk on the season despite having a pair of strikeouts already. Had his first hit in the 9th inning last night, being a 4-run frame for Harwich at Orleans. Certainly has to feel rewarding to be able to reach base early here.
So Kennedy Jones will climb in. And here's the first pitch to him. Nope, they're going to go check on Culpepper at first. He's back in there with a dive. Jones had a pair of doubles yesterday, went 2 for 5 in the win, including a big one that blew the game open in the 9th. Also had a pair of RBI. He was all over the diamond. Back in that cleanup spot for Englert where he's been in every game thus far this season. So that one misses down low. Be 1-0. On deck, Hunter Fitzgerald, should he get the chance. Coming off a game in which he had 3 walks. Really was patient at the plate, and it paid off. 1-0 pitch. Misses just outside, make it 2-0. Mariners trying to start something late here in the first inning. There's 2 down. Big power threat up in Jones. Mariners also still without a home run on the season. Breaking ball runs inside, and now Jones way ahead in the count, 3-0. For UNC Greensboro this past season, Jones ranked 2nd in at-bats, 4th in hits, 5th in total bases, and total plate appearances. He was also 8th in homers and 9th in batting average. 3-0 pitch. Misses outside, and it's back-to-back walks administered by Dorsey. So the Mariners now with a runner in scoring position and threatening with Hunter Fitzgerald coming to the plate.
Mariners have had their share of walks for the first 2 games on the season, but you look at Jones being a plus 350 hitter in each of his 2 seasons at UNC Greensboro. You mentioned his ability to provide the hitting where it's needed. That time Jones just staying patient enough, uniquely so in the cleanup spot as well.
So Fitzgerald will dig in from the left side, lefty on lefty matchup here with 2 outs. Infield is playing back for the Commodores. It'll be 1-0 as that one runs inside. Fitzgerald this past season for the Monarchs hit .316. Also had 22 home runs. Some serious pop in his bat. Mariner faithful just dying for him to poke one. 1-0 pitch. Misses up high. It'll be 2-0. Over 1,500 people attended opening day here at Whitehouse, and a decent crowd here tonight, but probably not quite as much due to the cool nature. 2-0. This is going to be flipped into shallow center field. Coming in as a center fielder, Handel, and he made the catch while sliding. What a play by Mike Handel, showing off his athleticism. And so instead of the Mariners tying this ball game up, Handel steals a run. Commodores take a 1-0 lead into inning number 2. We'll see you on the other side. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube Network. 6, 7, 8 due up for the doors. It'll be Michael Eze, and Tucker Biven. Handel, of course, just made that beautiful grab out in center field, a sensational catch that allowed the Mariners to stay off the scoreboard. Now let's see what he can do on the offensive side of things. Chmielewski rocks and delivers. That one on the outside corner for a strike. Be 0-1. Seaver King playing a little shallow over at third base. The rest of the infield push back towards the outfield grass. That one fouled off, so it'll be an 0-2 count.
21 combined strikeouts between Harwich and Yarmouth Dennis here on opening night.
Much different story last night, though.
Much different story last night. Harwich 6th, tied for 5th rather, in the Cape Cod League this season in strikeouts amongst its pitching staff. Chmielewski still trying to get his first punch out in the afternoon.
Ball and 2 strikes, and the pitch. This is with the breaking ball out in the dirt, and it'll be 2-2. Falmouth did have that tie last night, as we said. They were ahead 2-1 until Bourne was able to tie it, as this one's going to be grounded off the end of the bat over to Culpepper. He gathers and fires on to first, a little high, but they got him just by half a step, and that will be out number 1.
Harwich getting tagged with an early error last night. The second at-bat for Orleans, but Kalen Culpepper has been very steady over at short, able to move so well laterally, in addition to charging onto the softer rolling ground balls. And that's really anchoring Chmielewski right now as the southpaw still tries for that first punch out.
Michael Eze climbs in, and first pitch is going to be on the outside corner for a strike. As that ball flies in the center field, Horning couldn't get it down enough.
Wind carried it a little bit, I think.
Yeah, I would agree.
A little bit windier here today than it was at Eldridge Park last night.
No kidding. There was a proposal, too, which was pretty cool at Eldridge Park pregame. She said yes, which was good. This one's going to be grounded on a couple bounces over to Camarillo. He gathers and fires on the first just in time. Wow, the Mariners making it look easy, but beating these runners by half a step. So score that one 4-3. It'll be out number 2.
Yeah, and Devin, you can't really fault yourself. That single to short with 2 outs back in the first. It's sort of a give or take ground ball play. If not for an infield single, your Kalen Culpepper, you continue to move, and he's worked really well in the middle infield with Ali Camarillo thus far this season.
First pitch to Tucker Biven. It's going to be in there for a strike on the outer part of the plate. This past season, Biven at Louisville, as he's going to ground this one on one bounce over to Culpepper. This should do it, and that will end the inning. So we'll learn more about Biven next time he comes up to the plate, but for now, we'll send it to break. 1-0 Commodores after they go down 1-2-3 in the second. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube Network. Welcome back. It'll now be 6, 7, 8 for the Mariners due up. That's King, Scannell, and Lavari. Back out there for his second inning is Carson Dorsey getting set to go here. Falmouth just went down in order 1-2-3. Mariners trying to avoid that fate as they trail 1-0. The first time they've trailed all season at that point. Seaver King will dig in. He went 1 for 3 yesterday with a single. Also was able to collect a sacrifice fly. See what he can do here. First pitch. Misses up and away. It'll be 1-0. Some early control problems for Dorsey, it appears. He's been missing up and away a decent amount. Probably got to figure out his landing point, as that pitch is going to just miss up and away again. It'll be 2-0.
Mariners have not been the cleanest team defensively. You also consider how much Harwich has scored early, scored 5 combined runs to jumpstart its hitting attack, as that one goes off the outer half. You consider how well Harwich has done to open its hitting attack, scoring 4 runs in the 9th inning last night as well, being able to open and close the door on time.
As this one's going to be grounded over the shortstop Keelan. He gathers and throws on the run, and it's there in time. 6-3 putout for out number 1.
Take that ground out if you're Dorsey. Pitch count already going towards the 20 pitch threshold here. Get a pair retired in a row after allowing a pair of consecutive walks back in the first. And this is just the kind of control that you need to have right here, being able to force that ground ball contact aside from not being able to locate too well right now.
Scannell will dig in now. This past season with Princeton, he hit .270 as he pops this one up in foul territory. Closing in on it is the catcher Highfill, and he grabs it right in front of his chest. So that will be out number 2.
Fortunately for Harwich, aside from not having anyone on base right now, you bring in someone who led Old Dominion in doubles this season. A little extra base hit here could really jumpstart that hitting that Harwich certainly needs right now. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of approach he goes with here. He's 3 for 3 thus far.
First pitch to Lavari. It's going to miss inside for a ball. Lavari, a second-year Harwich Mariner, made his debut back in June 18th of last year. It's going to be a ball and a strike now. Holds down the hot corner for the M's. 1-1 pitch is going to be rolled over to first base. Gathered by Condon, and he steps on first to retire the side. Just about the fastest half inning you'll see. Between 3 and 4 minutes, that one. Mariners go in order. Back to defense they go, 1-0. Commodores. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back. Top of the 3rd inning here at Whitehouse Field. 1-0 our score in favor of the Falmouth Commodores. Chmielewski back out there for his 3rd inning of work. Thus far, hasn't been too bad. Hit the first batter he faced who would come around to score, but has just surrendered the 1 hit. Trying to get in a rhythm here after retiring the last 4 Commodores he's faced. First pitch is going to be a breaking ball that gets by Horning, and it'll be 1-0. Digging in for the Commodores is going to be Harrison Povey. He's out in right field tonight. Povey this past season played with Florida Gulf Coast. There we go. Sophomore season, he hit .304 as he watches a strike go by to even up the count. Also had a .420 on base percentage. Pretty good mark. Finding ways to do it other than with the bat. 2 balls and a strike as that one misses down low.
This will be an invaluable southpaw to have in the lineup here for Falmouth for the coming week. Someone who's only elevated his game through 2 years at Florida Gulf Coast.
Big swing and miss at a high off-speed pitch, and it'll be 2-2.
Had 13 doubles last season as a freshman. Pretty good standard even for the A-Sun. And he'll have the chance to face some of the best talent here.
Pitch is going to be lifted, foul off to the left. So we'll stay at 2-2.
Katuitt and Wareham, Devin, are tied at 2 going into the bottom of the 8th inning as of a few minutes ago. Both teams of equal need for that kind of win. Katuitt leading the West Division at 1-0.
This is going to be line foul down the right field line. Would have been extra bases for sure. Povey just missed it. So it'll be 2-2 once again. But yes, some of those games who are at fields without lights, of course, wrap up much sooner, which is nice because we get to update you. As breaking ball just misses up and in, so count will be full now. Povey the 9-hitter, then it'll be top of the order with Gavin Keelan. Payoff pitch. This is going to be grounded over towards Camarillo. A couple steps to his left, gathers and fires, almost threw it away. He did throw it away. Off the glove and over towards the Commodore dugout. So it'll be another error, uncharacteristic pair of errors early on here for the Harwich Mariners and those middle infielders who've been so good, each owning one.
Seems to be a quick play that time for Camarillo. Almost took an extra second to make the throw over to first. And right now Harwich already with 2 errors on the game despite only entering the day with 1.
First pitch to Keelan is going to be a breaking ball on the inside corner. And yeah, tough play that time for Camarillo as he was ranging over to his left. Seemed to be kind of hustling to get to the baseball as it was hitting that 4-3 gap. 0-1. It's going to be grounded over to Camarillo. Second life. He goes to second for 1. Culpepper on to first. Will not be in time. Just a half second too late. And so the Mariners will settle for the 1 out. It'll be a fielder's choice for Keelan.
Shimoleski leading Princeton in ERA this season at 3.4. I believe you mentioned that a moment ago, Devin, and it's going to be key for him as he works out of the stretch again here to not have to face more than 4 batters as he had faced 5 back in the first. Got that quick 1-2-3 inning here. Would have been more luxurious to have that double play on the ground.
This one's going to be grounded over towards Culpepper. He has to field and goes to second to get the lead runner. Really nice play by Culpepper. Wasn't sure how he was going to get it over to first, and that's why I'm not playing shortstop. He goes to second and gets the lead runner. Really nice play that time and great awareness and communication between those guys. So it'll be another out, and there's 2 away for Charlie Condon.
An error from either of your middle infielders. Shimoleski has to take it 1 at a time here, and it's going to be a really tough customer to face in Charlie Condon for the second time.
Condon's going to loop this one up towards the middle infield. Camarillo coming on, throws across his body, and gets the runner. So despite the 1 error committed by Camarillo, the Mariner defense is able to pick him up, including himself. Commodores can't strike this time despite the error, and so we go to the bottom of the 3rd. Still 1-0 Commodores on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back. Whitehouse Field, Devin Dobek, Wyatt Kopelman along with you. The Commodores lead the Mariners 1-0. It'll be the 9-hitter Jackson Horning, followed by Jacob Humphrey and Ali Camarillo, due up in the inning. Horning had the first 2 RBI game for the Mariners this season back on opening day, thanks to a beautiful piece of hitting, a double over towards the wall. Be a 1-0 count now to start him. Dorsey back out there for his 3rd inning. His team's giving him a 1-run lead, trying to protect it. That one on the outside corner, a fastball to make it 1-1.
This is a point in the ball game where if you're Horning coming up for the first time in the 9-hole, you take advantage of this control issue.
This one's going to be fouled off to the right, and it'll be 1-2 now.
Especially for someone who set program records in batting average home runs this season.
Yeah, he's been sensational for his respective club, and much earned reward that he's heading out to Kansas State to play Division I. 2 balls and 2 strikes for Horning, the Ashland, Massachusetts native. 6'2", 210 in that right-handed side. The pitch. Breaking ball is going to be lifted high and out of play. Put a really good swing on it, but the off-speed fooled him, so we'll have to hang in there. It'll be 2-2.
Had the 2-run double back here on opening day. Someone who's not going to be retired easily, willing to protect here.
2-2. Swing and a miss. Pulled the string on it was Shimoleski. Commodores go around the horn, and that will be out number 1. Second strikeout for Dorsey here tonight.
From UMass Lowell, number 36, Jacob.
Got the slider going that time, and Horning just missed it on the outer half. It's going to be hard to catch up to that slider for this Harwich lineup. Dorsey already with 2 strikeouts.
That one runs just inside to make it 1-0. Humphrey, the other strikeout victim of Dorsey. He's 0 for 1 as the Mariners turn the card over. The pitch. Breaking ball is in there for a strike.
Mariners got to get base runners going already. 5 straight retired in hardly a blink of an eye from Dorsey.
This one fouled off, and so it'll be 1-2. But yeah, after 13 hits yesterday, still nothing brewing for the Mariners just yet. Trying to get the offensive department going against a Falmouth team who sits at the bottom of the West Division. 1-2. Foul tipped and unable to hang on was Highfill, so we'll have to do it again.
Slow start this season for Jacob Humphrey, but to get that double last night certainly has to feel gratifying. 2nd batting average at UMass Lowell this year. Nice to take that time as well, going above the letters. High fastball hasn't quite worked yet, and that time Humphrey staying disciplined, not biting on that one.
2-2. Misses up high, and it'll be 3-2 now. He's worked it full. Nice at-bat he's put together right now, a quality one at that. Payoff pitch. Fouled off. So we'll have to do it again at 3-2. But yeah, Humphrey, a real stud for the Riverhawks. Native of Standish, Maine, going to be a junior this upcoming season. 3-time America East Rookie of the Week in his freshman year as he draws ball 4 there. And a real threat on the base paths. Has the American East conference record 46 stolen bases. Came back in his freshman season, had 33 this past one, but we'll see how aggressive Coach Englert elects to be. As Coach Mark Tebow providing the signs over from the third base coach's box.
Devin, 3 walks already from the left-hander Dorsey. Had a 99 strikeout to 29 walk ratio this year at Gulf Coast State College. Having a little bit of trouble facing this Harwich lineup, which is trying to show some discipline here aside from not having that hit.
Big swing and a miss from Camarillo, and it'll be 0-1. Camarillo flew out to left back in the first inning. Trying to do some damage here. Had the chance to talk to him last night. Says that all these pitchers he's gone up against are elite, which is the big difference coming from a small school like Cal State Northridge. He's really enjoyed the competition in the Cape League early. That pitch misses outside. It's 1-1. Very team-first guy. He's always doing everything for the betterment of the team. Asked him how he's been so good on defense, and he said he just wants to help his pitchers get outs. And that's what he's done for the majority of this early season. 1-1 is going to be fouled back. I say majority because he just had an error, as if I jinxed him after gassing both him and Culpepper up in the pregame. Ball and 2 strikes. Over at first is Humphrey. There's 1 away, and the Commodores lead 1-0. 1-2 pitch. There goes Humphrey, and it's going to be lined down the line, but foul. Really nice swing that Camarillo put on that, but just 3 feet outside that foul line, and so we'll have to jog back to the batter's box and do it again.
Aside from being 0 for 1 today, had some good charge on that fly ball to left field back in the first, and it's just that kind of player who has so much speed on the base pass and is so almost wondrous in the middle infield. Almost just makes you wonder, what is he capable of doing next? Someone with a really explosive bat here in this lineup, Devin.
Absolutely. On deck behind him, Kalen Culpepper, followed by Kennedy Jones in the hole. So, some serious power if he can find a way to get on base. And some speed on the base pass as well in Humphrey. So putting the ball in play could make a lot of things happen. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Down in the dirt. There goes Humphrey, and he's going to get in there without a challenge. Nice free 90 feet for the Mariners there, and a great dirt ball read. He's down to second base.
Mariners have the speed on the base pass to not only steal, but just read those in the dirt really well and not second guess those wild pitches. That one didn't go to the backstop, of course. That forces a little bit more stress here on Dorsey. Have to be stress inducing on the base pass here to get even.
2-2. Swing and a miss. Big cut from Camarillo, and he goes down swinging. Third strikeout victim for Dorsey, and there's now 2 away for Kalen Culpepper.
Kansas State, number 31, Kalen Culpepper.
Culpepper on the day walked and was stranded at second back in the first inning. See what he's able to do here. This past season, Culpepper hit .325 for Kansas State, had a .999 OPS and 10 home runs that went into that number as well. Played just 40 games for the Cats. He's ahead in the count 1-0 now as Dorsey comes set, checks the runner, and now comes home. Way up. Nice job by Humphrey. It looks like he's in Dorsey's head a little bit, moving back and forth. Dorsey had to check on him a few times and just threw that one up and out of the zone. 2 balls, no strikes. Culpepper looking to even this game up. Humphrey is off to the races, and the throw not even close to being in time. Humphrey got an unbelievable jump, and he's over into third base with his first stolen base.
Yeah, great read that time by Humphrey, reading the high fastball. Certainly wasn't a swing from Culpepper to begin with, and saw Camarillo steal third last night in New Orleans, setting a standard that time.
Jones on deck, 3-0 offering. Misses outside, and it'll be a walk for Kalen Culpepper. He heads down to first base. 2 walks for him now in the ball game.
You consider what's inspiring as of late with this Harwich team. Had a near handful of doubles on opening night to get to that 4-3 win. Every hit seemed to matter in this one. And right now, Harwich just moving from station to station early may seem to have equal meaning right now. Runners on the corners with 2 outs. No bigger spot for Kennedy Jones, who had a pair of doubles last night as well, Devin.
Absolutely. We'll see what he can do here. 2 outs for the Mariners. They're still hitless, but 2 walks in the innings have runners on the corners. This one bounced in the dirt, make it 1-0. Culpepper's got speed too. This past season stole 9 bases. See if he's put in motion now with 2 away. The pitch. It's going to be grounded foul off the ankle, actually, of Kennedy Jones. So it'll be 1-1. RBI opportunity as there's 2 ducks on the pond. Here's the first, the third pitch. It's going to miss outside. 2-1. In 2022, Jones was the coach's All-SoCon second team and the 2022 Media All-SoCon second team as well. 2-1 pitch is going to be in the dirt to make it 3-1. Dorsey really struggling with control. He's already walked 4 men. Hasn't given up a hit yet, but these long at-bats followed by walks will most certainly stunt his outing. Longest outing in the league thus far has been 5 innings. That came from a Katuitt wing. 3-1. Misses outside, and it's going to be a 5-pitch walk to load up the bases.
Getting 3 walks right here is crucial for Harwich, just being able to find a sense of plate discipline after striking out many times in opening night. Started to change the course on that last night. It looks like we're going to have a mound meeting here. It's going to be interesting to see if Harwich can get a hit out of the middle third of its lineup right here. With 2 outs, of course, you want to be able to take advantage of particular opportunities, drive home at least 1 run, if not 2 if it leaves the outfield. And Harwich 2 nights ago as well here on opening night, Devin, left the bases loaded, scratching across the first 2 runs in the second inning, never looking back from there. Huge chance to correct the mistake it left in that sense and at least bring home 2 runs.
So Fitzgerald will dig in. He flew out to center. A beautiful play that was made to take a hit away from him by Mike Handel. See if Fitzgerald can barrel one up. A lot of damage he can do with one big swing of the bat. Another power threat. I'm sure he's really excited to get this opportunity. Hit 22 homers last season, as I mentioned. 70 runs batted in. And he's got a chance for his first Harwich homer or run batted in right here. 2 away, bases loaded. Commodores lead 1-0 in a bit of a jam, thanks to 3 walks in the inning. Fitzgerald in that left-hand side, waggling the bat above his shoulder. Dorsey comes set, and the pitch. In there, breaking ball at the top of the zone for a strike. Dorsey still electing to pitch out of the stretch, despite the bases being loaded. And the 0-1. This one's going to be popped over into shallow left field. Back is Keelan, and he puts it away for out number 3. So 3 walks, and the Mariners can't push anything across. 1-0 Commodores. We head to the middle third. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back. Mariners trailing 1-0 here as we head into the 4th inning. And for play-by-play duties for the next 3 innings, my broadcast partner, Wyatt Kopelman. Wyatt.
All right, Devin, Scott Bandura, Ross Heifel, Mike Handel due up here for Falmouth in the top of the 4th. First pitch on the way from Shimoleski, the Princeton product, taking on the outer half for strike number 1. Bandura, also a Princeton Tiger, hit .363 this season. Started off with a single to shortstop back in the first. The pitch, skied back behind home plate. It's quickly 0-2. Shimoleski ahead in the count here to start the 4th. 1-0 lead for Falmouth, putting Harwich in its first deficit on the season. A 10-3 win after a 4-run frame in the 9th in Orleans last night. 4-3 win on opening night here. This one chopped back up the mound. Off glove of Chmielewski trying to cover Camarillo as he fires on to first, and it's in time. Ali Camarillo, the CSU Northridge product, rising to the occasion as he gets the leadoff man gone here for Falmouth. And he has to get a thank you from Tom Chmielewski as well.
Yeah, and I'm not so sure that he got him. I think a generous call from the umpire over at first base. It looked to be a bang-bang play, but I thought the runner had beaten it. Yeah, went off the glove of Chmielewski, and then Camarillo with a really nice off-balance throw to get the runner. And so that will be out number one.
So here's Ross Highfill, grounded out to short back in the first. Now works with no one on. First pitch, a beautiful breaking ball down the middle for strike one.
Last game, Highfill went 1 for 3 with a 2-run blast in the designated hitter spot. Hit 7th in the lineup.
High tapper over towards the left side. A leaping king. He fires on to first, and it's in time. 2 quick outs here for Tom Chmielewski after he faced 5 back in the third. Still prevented any runs from scoring. Harwich already with 2 errors on the afternoon, but we'll have to see how Chmielewski can try and settle in again here in the fourth after retiring 1-2-3 back in the second. And it's Mike Handel coming up for the second time here today. He also grounded out to short as part of a 1-2-3 job for Chmielewski. Southpaw is set on the mound. He deals a breaking ball in the lower inside corner for strike number 1.
Handel grounded out to the shortstop Culpepper back in inning number 2.
Ground ball contact has been crucial thus far for Chmielewski in his first start on the season. It's fouled away. It's going to be a quick 0-2 here to Mike Handel. Graduate student at Fairfield right now, Garden City, New York native. 0 for 8 to start the season here, entering tonight. Now an 0 for 9. Tries to get Falmouth's second hit on the day as he flares one out towards left center field. It drops for a base hit in front of Jones. And there's that second hit here for Falmouth, a 2-out base runner. And a crucial hit there for Mike Handel as he gets his first hit on the season here. On a chilly night here in Harwich, wind starting to blow out to left field as well.
Beautiful piece of hitting, a breaking ball tailing away from the batter and Handel, and he's able to reach out his bat, get the barrel on it, and just toss it right out into shallow left field. Nice piece of hitting with 2 outs.
So here's Michael Azay, the Georgetown product, forcing Chmielewski out of the stretch again. Handel on the 2-out base hit as one goes way outside. Azay grounding out to second, back in the second. Hit 303 against right-handers, a bit shallower against southpaws this season at Georgetown. He's 2 for 6 on the season entering here today. 1-0. Taken down the middle on a curveball, 1-1.
And Eze not happy with that call as it was unable to be caught by Horning. Might have caught a piece of the dirt after it went across the zone. So, nonetheless, 1-1 count.
Eze with 32 walks as well at Georgetown this season as he watches one down the middle again. It's 1-2. On first Handel here with Harwich trailing 1-0. 2 hits for the Falmouth Commodores thus far. Harwich had a huge 9th inning last night. Still yet to get a home run on the season, but you consider what it had faced for what started to look like a bit of an avalanche against its relief pitching last night. A pair of home runs, won a 2-run shot and a solo blast. Runner takes off from second, a throw down to second rather, and it's going to be well in time. A good read that time from Horning behind home plate as Handel is gunned down at second for the final out of the inning, and we'll have to leave it right there as Harwich holds Falmouth to no runs on 1 hit, no errors, rather 1 error, and none left on base. Going into the bottom of the 4th, Harwich trailing by 1. You're listening to Harwich Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. On to the home half of the fourth here with Harwich trailing Falmouth 1-0. First deficit on the season for the Mariners as 20th-year head coach Steve Engler looks for his 400th win here tonight. Harwich coming in at 2-0. Falmouth, meanwhile, 0-1-1 to start off the season. Seaver King coming up here for the Mariners as the first pitch misses high and outside for ball number 1. Seaver grounding out to shortstop back in the second as the Wingate product tries to redeem himself here. 1-0 on the way, taken down the middle on a breaking ball. It's 1-1. And Devin, you consider that Harwich brought 6 to the plate back in the third inning and filled the bases on walks. You have to imagine that the leash starts to get shorter here on the batters to be able to put the ball into play, still without a hit here into the fourth.
Absolutely. It's got to click sometime. It clicked a little later last game, but they had some consistent offense early on.
Small chopper over towards the left side. It goes foul. Seaver King will have to protect.
I mean, they just blew up in the ninth, which was awesome, but they had bits and pieces here and there throughout the game that propelled them to that dominant win. Nothing here tonight.
Great finish last night as a 2-2 skips low. And Seaver King helping Harwich capitalize in a sense. He was 1 for 3 with an RBI base knock in his Cape Cod Baseball League debut last night. Rising junior at Wingate. First team all-conference this year. Payoff pitch. Chopped over towards the left side. It's going to be a tough play. It's short for Keelan as he lets it get past him into left field. A leadoff base hit here for the Mariners, and they have their first hit on the night here in the bottom of the fourth.
It's got to feel good for the offense, especially getting the leadoff man on. Now you can do a lot. And a bottom of the order who is really not a bottom of the order. They have all had strong starts. You're going to get Matt Scannell now. See what he can do. A pair of hits yesterday for him, and also a pair of RBI.
Mike Handel, the center fielder for Falmouth, caught stealing to close out the top of the fourth without an error issued in that inning. The first pitch going high for ball 1. Just a huge third out to get there against Shimoleski, who similarly to Dorsey has started to see his pitch count ascend here. As Scannell comes back up for the second time, he popped out to the catcher in Highfill back in the second. 1-0 down the middle. It's going to be 1-1 here to the Princeton products. A lot of Princeton Tigers here today. Meanwhile, Harwich trying to stay perfect this season after winning 10-3 last night in Orleans and getting a save out of Jacob Gomez in opening night. 1-1, breaking ball goes low. Well, it's been a pair of 4 inning starts, I should say, Devin, for Harwich to start the season. Tim Noon starting last night dominantly for Harwich, the Babson College product. Last 2 nights ago, it was Sam Armstrong, the Old Dominion product, as that one gets called on the upper half. It's 2-2. So Harwich trying to get a deep start here out of Shimoleski right now, trying to move runners on the base paths here after getting its first hit from King. 2-strike pitch, skied out towards left field, giving chase Bandura, runs over to the line, and it's going to go foul over the fence. So Scannell staying alive here, still with none away, and Harwich trailing 1-0. 1 run on 2 hits for Falmouth. None on 1 hit here for Harwich. 2 errors committed already from the Mariners. Harwich entering tonight with the greatest run differential. Runner taking off in King from first, and there will be no throw down to second. First stolen base on the season for Seaver King, as Harwich has a runner to work with in scoring position here.
You'll take that. Great jump by King, and threw the catcher in Highfill off guard. He had trouble with the transfer. And yeah, just couldn't shoot him. Might not even have had a chance if he did get a throw off.
3-2 pitch for Scannell as he weakly hits that back behind home plate. We'll do it again. Falmouth opening the scoring tonight with an RBI single from Scott Bandura to score Gavin Keelan, the leadoff hitter here for Falmouth. Payoff pitch again, foul back behind home plate. Turning into a really good at-bat here for Matt Scannell. Has a ton of experience in the collegiate side. Rising senior at Princeton, was 5th on the team in batting average at .270 this year for a Princeton team that battled around the 500 mark. Led the team in RBIs with 44. Boy, could Harwich use one here to be able to even the score here in the bottom of the 4th. And a balk called here against the starter for Falmouth and Dorsey. Seemed as if he was about halfway into turning back to second there to try and work with Seaver King. And the umpire saw it right away.
Final from Katuitt out at Lowell Park. 3-2 Kettleers win against the Gatemen.
Here's another payoff pitch to Scannell as he chops it over towards the right side. Bouncing ball for Condon, races over to the bag. And the Georgia product beats the Princeton Tiger that time. A run coming across to score in Seaver King, and this one is knotted up at 1 here in the bottom of the 4th.
Nice at bat that time from Scannell, making Dorsey throw pitches. A quality at bat, and finally is able to put it on the ground to the right side. Easily King able to score. Really nice job by Scannell there, and he collects another RBI.
So the G3 clears the bases here as Kenny Lavari, the designated hitter, steps in and watches one high for ball number 1. Lavari 0 for 1 here today, grounded out to first unassisted back in the 2nd. A 1-0. Sharply hit over towards the right side. Martin able to make the catch that time. So now 2 away here after the RBI ground out and a quick L4. And Jackson Horning comes back up for the 2nd time today. He struck out swinging back in the 3rd. Not a ton of pressure here on Jackson Horning, but never a bad time to get a hit as well. Despite having nobody to work with on the base paths here, it's a 1-1 ball game in the bottom of the 4th here from Whitehouse. Just a chilly night for baseball here as Horning swings and misses at a slider for strike number 1.
Another final from Red Wilson Field. The YD Red Sox earned their first win of the season, 8-6 over the Whitecaps.
One chopped over towards the left side.
And that's great for the Mariners because Brewster's sitting right behind them in second place in East early on. A loss is not going to do them any favors.
2-strike pitch here as it's lofted out towards foul territory down the right side. Condon makes the catch on the chalk, or on the warning track, I should say. Final out of the inning, but Harwich evens it up here after 4, scoring 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, and leaving none on base. Going into the 5th, tied at 1 from Whitehouse Field. 2 hits for Falmouth, 1 hit for Harwich. This is Harwich Mariners baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. One between Harwich and Falmouth going into the 5th inning here from Whitehouse Field. A 2-0 team in Harwich looking to go perfect at home still here tonight and get Steve Englert his 400th win on the season. Tucker Bivin, Harrison Povey, and Gavin Keelan due up here. First pitch on the way, a strike on a fastball from Shimoleski. We're underway here in the 5th. Shimoleski getting 3 quick outs back in the 4th as he gets the 0-1 high over his head. Moving to his right, Camarillo fires onto first, and it goes well wide. So an E4 that time. Camarillo giving Harwich its 3rd error on the night, and a leadoff base runner here for Falmouth after Falmouth got its 2nd hit back in the 4th.
Right fielder from Florida Gulf Coast, number 6.
Yeah, Camarillo just a tough play that time, ranging across the infield, had to collect it and fire it. Just, unfortunately, a really difficult play, and it'll be ruled an error. 3rd one of the game.
Harwich entering today with just 1 error. And last night it got tagged with the error early, but has been a clean defensive team thus far this season as pickoff attempt over at first. You mentioned earlier Harwich being a standout defensive team with the best defensive fielding percentage in the Cape League to start through 2 games. Harwich also bringing the highest run differential with 8 as the 1-0 is flared down the left side. I mean, 1-1 here to the Florida Gulf Coast product in Harrison Peavy. Had 56 RBIs, 27 walks this season. 2 for 3 to start the season here with Falmouth as he reached on an E4 back in the 3rd. 1-1 from Shimoleski. Grounded over towards the right side. Camarillo tries again, gets it to second for 1. The throw on to first, not in time. So a fielder's choice here as Harwich gets the leading runner in Tucker Biven as Povey reaches safely for the 2nd time here today. That cycles the lineup back for Gavin Keelan, the shortstop, as he also looks for his first hit on the night.
I thought for sure they might have had him that time, but I guess it evens out throughout the course of the game. Commodore still with a base runner.
Falmouth with 2 hits, Harwich with 1 hit thus far. Bunt try that time from Keelan as it goes low.
This now the longest outing for a Mariner pitcher thus far as Shimoleski's into the 5th. Longest before was 4, tied by Sam Armstrong and Tim Noon.
Keelan, the freshman of Louisville, native of Janesville, Wisconsin. Hit a lot better against right-handers this season for the Cardinals. Sounds a strike on the upper half. Hit .265 in 38 starts at Louisville, which won 18 of its first 20 games this season, Devin, before just going 10-20 in the ACC. It was kind of a tale of 2 halves under Dan McDonnell as this one is fouled down the left side. Make it 1-2. It seemed like a very promising start this year for the Cardinals. Keelan hitting .306 against right-handers, just under .190 against southpaws, however. He had 13 multiple hit games for Dan McDonnell in his 15th season this year with the Louisville Cardinals. Has taken that team, Devin, to 5 College World Series appearances. The 1-2. High tapper over towards the right side in the direction of Camarillo. He gets it on to first, and that's going to be in time as the runner in Povey moves over to second. And Louisville just having a bit of a rebuilding year this year, but I mean, you know, with the high standard, being a first-class program, you know it's going to be back at the national stage in no time as Christian Martin, another ACC product, comes up, the second baseman of Virginia Tech.
Absolutely, that conference is so stacked, and when you talk about Louisville, so impressive the dynasty they've been able to put together consistently.
Big wave and a miss that time. Martin, another solid hitter in the ACC this season. Hit .373 against right-handers, .271 against southpaws. Had 32 walks, 26 RBIs, and 48 starts. A Virginia Tech team that struggled in the ACC. A 1 from Shimoleski dips low. Martin on the evening flew out to center field back in the 1st, reached on a fielder's choice in the 3rd. 3 hits combined here between Harwich and Falmouth. Different evening thus far for the Mariners. 1-1, just tap back behind home plate.
Martin coming off a game in which he was 0 for 3, a pair of walks though. Also had an RBI, so despite not getting a hit, was able to contribute in what would eventually lead on to be a tie.
Well, it's a big spot here for the Virginia Tech product with a runner on second in Povey. Has really improved at Virginia Tech in his 2nd season after hitting .261 last season. 1-2. Goes low. It's 2-2. Martin leading Virginia Tech with a .345 batting average. And he's part of 1 of 6 from that Virginia Tech program, Devin, to have Cape Cod Baseball League opportunities this summer. Right next to freshman All-American Garrett Michelle of the Bourne Braves. 2-2, tap back behind home plate. So 2 away, 1-1 between Harwich and Falmouth here. Shimoleski trying to get out of this one after getting a 1-2-3 job back in the 2nd. Faced 5 in the 1st. Gave up an RBI infield single to get Falmouth on the board first. A 2-2. Lobbed out towards left field. Running back Jones. He's going to make the catch. Final out of the 5th here. So Martin flies out for the 2nd time here today as he falls to 0 for 2, reaching on a fielder's choice back in the 3rd. Falmouth brings 4 to the plate, scoring no runs on no hits, 1 error, and leaving 1 on base. On to the bottom of the 5th here from Whitehouse Field. All knotted up at 1. This is Harwich Mariners baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back to a breezy night here at Whitehouse Field in Harwich, as Falmouth and Harwich tied at 1 here. Top of the order due up in Humphrey, Camarillo, and Culpepper. Dorsey back out on the mound for his 5th inning of his start here. Both starters going 5 thus far. First pitch on the way to Humphrey. The UMass Lowell product takes it on the outer half for strike number 1.
Yeah, real good breeze coming in here. Holy cow. That almost blew me away. Jeez.
0-1, another swing and a miss. 0-2 here to Humphrey.
Around the league, Hyannis on top of Chatham 4-0 in the bottom of the 5th, and Bourne trailing Orleans 6-4 in the top of the 5th.
That one tapped away as Brewster also fell to Yarmouth Dennis 8-6. Yarmouth Dennis getting its first win on the season. Brewster with a big loss, trailing Harwich going into today, was a win in the column, had a loss and a tie behind Harwich, which enters today at 2-0. Humphrey trying to protect here, struck out swinging back in the first, walks back in the 3rd. Harwich finally getting on the board back in the 4th. 0-2 outside.
Your attention please, now pitching for Falmouth from Alabama, number 18, Antoine Jean.
So new pitcher in here for Falmouth in Antoine Jean, the senior of Alabama. That one lobbed into center field. Backing up handle, he ranges right, and he makes the catch for the first out of the 5th here. So to tell you a little bit about here, Jean, he actually missed this season due to injury. Actually started the home opener for Falmouth last season. Devin went 3 1/3 innings with 5 hits and a strikeout, so a bit of a familiar scene here, as he also pitched for Falmouth 2 seasons ago, getting 5 starting nods. He has 1 away here to start off the 5th.
Close the book on Dorsey. He goes 4 complete, 1 hit, 1 earned run, walks 5, and strikes out 3. His team's tied as he leaves the bump.
That one goes outside, and it's called a strike here to Ali Camarillo. 0-for-2 here to start the night. Harwich with a run on a hit. 0-1 just on the outer half on a slider. It's 1-1 here. One away here in the bottom of the fifth from Whitehouse Field. Harwich and Falmouth tied at 1. 3 combined hits, 3 errors for Harwich already. Allowing Falmouth a little bit more movement on the base pass. Chopper over towards the left side. Azay moves to his left, fires over to first, and there are 2 away.
Yeah, Harwich got to find a way to get something going. Just 1 hit through 4 2/3. They've been held pretty shut by this Falmouth staff, who has not been the greatest thus far in the season, but their pitching has been one serious struggle. They do have strikeouts, 26 of them coming into today, and they've surrendered just the 1 homer, but opponents hitting .257 against them to go with a .163 whip.
Culpepper watching one go outside. Reached on 2 walks earlier here today in the first and the third. The 1-0 on the way. Swung on and missed.
Swung out of his shoes at that. Almost fell over after the play. Big swing from Culpepper there.
There's nobody to work with here with 2 away in the bottom of the fifth. Trying for that first hit on the day here as he shoots this one out to center field. Charging in Handel. He lets it fall in front of him as he gets the first hit for his card on the afternoon. He's had 2 walks and has a 2-out base runner here for Harwich. That's a piece of hitting you need out of Kalen Culpepper, someone who's been fabulous on the left side of the diamond here to start the season.
Third time on base today. He's doing exactly what you want out of your 3-hitter, finding ways to get on base. Now we'll see if the cleanup man can clean up and get him home.
Culpepper's had the versatility at Kansas State this season. Third on the Wildcats in average and homers with 10. First pitch to Jones, tap foul. Top 4 in the Harwich lineup has been active on the base pass here today. 5 combined walks between Culpepper, Jones, and Humphrey. That forces Gene out of the stretch here as the 0-1s watch it on the outer half. It's going to be 0-2 here. It's the cleanup hitter in Jones. Also reached each time on a walk here today. 2 plate appearances, 2 walks thus far. Be a huge spot here for Harwich to get a runner in a scoring position. 0-2 fouled away.
And showed off that opposite field power with 2 doubles to the right side. See if he can lift up a breaking ball here. Way behind, got to protect. But Harwich needs a big swing here.
Runner takes off. Chopper back up the mound. Gene racing over towards the bag. Flips it underhand. And that's all he needs to close out the fifth. Harwich bringing 4 to the plate, scoring no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and leaving 1 stranded. 1-1 between Harwich and Falmouth going into the 6th here at Whitehouse Field. We'll see what's on the other side. This is Harwich Mariners baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. On to the 6th inning here from Whitehouse Field. Harwich and Falmouth knotted up at 1 here. Due up for Falmouth, Charlie Condon, Scott Bandura, and Ross Highfill. 3, 4, and 5 hitters. Set to face Shimoleski again is Condon as he chops one over foul towards the left side for strike 1. Give you the final line on Dorsey, the starter for Falmouth. 4 innings through, 1 hit, 1 error, 1 earned run, I should say. 5 walks and 3 strikeouts through 18 faced. 0-1 is laced through the right side for a base hit, right into that 3-4 gap, Devin. And aside from the power hitting that Charlie Condon offers with that tall frame, it's just what he can do on the ground. A laser that time in a right.
A really nice swing. Opposite field. Right through that gap, as you mentioned. He finds himself on base. A leadoff base runner for Falmouth is huge, especially third time headed through the lineup. Shimoleski out there being tested by Coach Engler. There is action in the pen for the Mariners, but I'm going to give him a few more guys.
Will Pearson warming up for Harwich. That one taken on the outer half for Bandura. 1 for 2 today with a single to shortstop back in the first, grounded out to second back in the fourth. Condon getting his first hit on the evening after flying out and grounding out. 0-1 on the outer half. It's 0-2.
Really nice pitch that time. Just straight paint on the outside corner and low, unhittable. Nice velocity on it too.
Now, if you're Harwich, you've already used 5 relievers for the first 2, as this one's tapped over towards the right side. Fitzgerald at first tries to flip on a Shimoleski covering the bag, and they got him just in time. A razor-thin play over at first, but Condon moves into second, as Falmouth has a runner to work with in scoring position. Great cover that time by Shimoleski. As I was getting to say, Harwich has used a combined 5 relievers for the first 2 games, so you have a good deal of pitchers to steal carve through in your bullpen, Devin. Be interesting to see if you go with the right-hander in Pearson, or if you maybe look to use a left-hander with this being a right-handed heavy Falmouth lineup.
I am interested to see what they elect to do, but a really nice play that time by Shimoleski, as you mentioned. Getting over to the bag, a bang-bang play. Another time where the runner might have been safe, but umpire in favor of the Mariners that time.
So strike here to Ross Highfill, 0 for 2 tonight, victim of 2 groundouts. Condon strongly off of second, as it's watched out on the outer half for strike number 2. 1 away here in the top of the 6th, 1-1 between Harwich and Falmouth. Harwich looking to go 3-0 on the season, stay atop of the Cape East standings. 0-2, runner takes off, goes low in the dirt. Condon diving well in time to third. A little bit of uncovered speed there, getting his jersey dirty over towards the third base bag, forcing Shimoleski to really work out the stretch. Got to take advantage of that southpaw if you're Condon, someone who's gaining a lot of experience over at Georgia, the SEC.
And what a great stolen base by Bandura, because now there's so many ways you can put this ball in play and get a run.
1-2 low. Condon thought about going home. Instead, he slips and goes back to third. Wisely so, as it was a nice recovery that time by Jackson Horning, a Skidmore College product.
Got to find a way to get a non-contact out here or an infield pop-up. Strikeout would be huge because that runner, especially with the speed he has in Bandura, can do some damage.
2-2. Line down the left field line. It's going to be a fair ball. Easily scoring is going to be Condon from third on a 1-out RBI base hit, and the throwback to first just a bit late as well. Falmouth taking a 2-1 lead on a sharp hit from Ross Highfill, the Mississippi State product. And Harwich falling into its second deficit on the evening as Shimoleski continues to work out of the stretch.
It was Condon at third. That's my apologies. Showing off his speed there. So yeah, Falmouth back in front. Mariners going to have to battle here.
Line back behind home plate for Handel. 1 for 2 here today. Grounded out to short back in the second. Singled to left back in the fourth. Falmouth getting its 4th hit on the ball game here after getting an RBI single from Scott Bandura back in the first to open the scoring here. 0-1 on the way. Runner takes off. Throw down to second is going to be not in time. So Handel will have to protect here. Runner moving into scoring position for Falmouth, with it being Highfill.
Really aggressive base running here from the Commodores, trying to run up the score and put this thing out of reach. They have just the 1-run lead, but Harwich's offense needs to wake up. Just the 2 hits.
0-2. Line back behind home plate. Mike Handel, the outfielder of Fairfield, hit .314 this season. All-conference first team back in 2021. 0 for 8 to start the season here with Falmouth, as he's now 1 for 10 after getting his first base hit back in the 4th. Here's a chopper over towards the right side. Camarillo moving to his right, fields on to first in time. And that marks the second out of the inning. Highfill over to third, as that brings up Michael Azay, the 7-hole hitter, as he looks for his first hit on the night.
And now if you're Shimoleski, find a way to get this out. The runners are irrelevant as long as you don't give up a base hit.
The third baseman from Georgetown, number 1.
And Harwich has got to find a way to back up their pitcher. I know I just mentioned it, but a guy who's about to go 6 strong innings, you can't provide him just 1 run the way he's pitched.
Check swing, a foul tip. One around was Azay, the Georgetown product. 0 for 2 here today with a ground out and a strikeout. Huge spot here for Falmouth to try and pad its lead as the 0-1 is tapped back behind home plate. Playing from behind, just not something to look at this season from Harwich thus far through 2 games. One last night, 10-3. 4-run 9th inning. Harwich trying to keep it at just 1 here as the 0-2 sails high. Falmouth at the bottom of the Cape Cod West standings with a loss and a tie. Still only a game behind Katuitt for first place going into tonight. 2-strike pitch, swing and a miss. Nasty slider that time from Shimoleski, the Princeton product. Strands a runner at third, but not before Falmouth takes its second lead on the night here in the 6th as it brings 5 to the plate and scores 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and leaves 1 on. 1-run deficit again going into the bottom half of the 6th here at Whitehouse Field. We'll be right back. This is Harwich Mariners baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube. All right, so a 1-run deficit again for Harwich going into the bottom. The 6th here, second home game of the season for Harwich as Steve Englert nears closer to that 400th win. It's going to be Fitzgerald, Seaver King, and Matt Scannell due up here. Fitzgerald of Old Dominion as the southpaw digs in, facing a southpaw on the reliever in Jean. Lines it back up the middle. Tough play from Martin as he bobbles it, tries to fire on to first, and it's not going to be in time. Infield single here for Harwich to start off the 6th as it finds its 3rd hit on the night here.
Really nice piece of contact up the middle there. Tough play it would have been for Christian Martin coming across to his right and had some trouble. Fitzgerald not the fastest though. It was still a close play despite the bobble. Nice job to hustle it out though, and the Mariners will take it. Leadoff runner on.
That one goes low to Seaver King. Nice block that time from Highfill. 1 for 2 tonight. King, the Wingate product of Division II baseball, grounded out to short back in the 2nd, singled to left back in the 4th for the first Harwich hit here on the night. You're just joining us. King was the one who came around to score on an unassisted ground out as he chops it back up the middle. This time it's going to be Martin gets it to 2nd, and they're only going to get that right there. A fielder's choice for Seaver King as Fitzgerald is out on the force play.
And a really good play by the middle infielders to communicate and make sure that they were able to get one, because that looked like it was going to be trouble if Martin had to go to first with that baseball. So nice to get the lead runner. You'll absolutely take that.
Now one away for Matt Scannell, the Princeton product. 0 for 2 here today. Popped out and grounded out to bring home Harwich's first run as he watches one go low. And Demo, 7 hits combined for each of these sides. It really feels as if it's kind of just a seesaw battle where you look at which team can provide the explosive hitting first for those multiple run RBI hits as Scannell is dropped down on a high pitch.
Yeah, that was close. He just barely got out of the way. That was labeled for his head, so nice job to be out of the way there. That could have been scary.
Scannell trying to move a runner into second, and the throw back to first, and it's going to go down to second, and it's going to be an out. Are caught stealing that time from Seaver King as they get him 1-3-6, and there are now 2 on the board here with the bases empty for Scannell. Well, the southpaw Jean on the mound, reading it well that time. The Alabama product catching King off guard as Scannell is ahead in the count here, 2-0. Shows a bunt here, goes high, it's 3-0 here.
Yeah, just unfortunate. It's so hard to take off and get a jump on lefties because you never know if they're coming home or coming over to first. And that time, Seaver King, just the victim of the circumstance. Really tough one there.
2 away, 3-1 here to Scannell. Harwich playing in its first deficit on the season from the opening frame here tonight. Now trails by 1 again as he foul tips it into the glove there, 3-2.
Yeah, and bad base running not doing the Mariners any favors. You need to get this game knotted up. Coach Englert searching for win number 400 in front of the home crowd. You don't want to take that monkey on your back all the way down to Wareham over the bridge.
Scannell off to a 2-for-9 start this season as he lobs it back up in the direction of Jean as he makes the catch off the mound. Highfill left it for him that time for the final out of the 6th here. So Harwich brings 3 to the plate, a 1-3-6, getting the second out and the third out there on the pop out in the infield. 2-1 deficit for Harwich going into the final frames here from Whitehouse Field. Right back, this is Harwich Mariners baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network.
Leading off the top of the 7th inning for the
2-1 deficit for Harwich as pitcher is on the mound here for Harwich, as Shimoleski's day is done, as Will Pearson, the Georgia product, comes on here. Back over to my broadcast partner for the 7th and 8th and 9th in Devin Dobeck.
Thank you, Wyatt. Mariners trailing 2-1 here, as call to the bullpen, as you mentioned. First pitch is cut on and fouled off. It's 0-1. Shimoleski's line is close. He goes 6 full innings, allows the 4 hits, 2 earned runs, and doesn't walk anyone but strikes out just 2. Longest performance in the Cape Cod Baseball League this season by a starting pitcher, and a pitcher at that. Will Pearson, the new wing, as he's ahead in the count 0-2. A Georgia Bulldog this past season. Had an 0-1 record, of 5.73 ERA, made 19 appearances, and struck out 13 to walking 12. This one misses outside, and so it'll be 1-2 now. Pearson's played at Georgia all 3 years that he's been there, and this year his worst statistically by a touch. 1-2. On the outside corner, it's the first strikeout for Will Pearson. He'll take that, and so there's quickly 1 away.
First strikeout looking for Harwich pitching here tonight. And now 3 straight retired here. Shimoleski leaving it off well for Pearson, who actually has the Georgia Red running in his family. His father, Philip, served as assistant coach for the Bulldogs for 9 seasons, dating into 2018 after playing college basketball at Alabama. How about that for a little rivalry?
Yeah, I'm not sure who he roots for or who he has his eggs in the basket for. It's 0-1, though, from Pearson. Definitely an interesting dynamic.
Sharply different shades of red all the while in the southeast.
I'm sure. 0-1. This is down low and in, and it'll be 1-1. Hyannis is on top of Chatham 6-0. That game headed into the 7th. Orleans on top of Bourne 6-4, also heading into the 7th. That pitch misses down low once again. It'll be 2-1. Harrison Povey on the day. Reached on an error back in the 3rd and then reached on a fielder's choice in the 5th. He's 0 for 2. 2-1. Just misses the outer black, and it'll be 3-1. So Pearson trying to find his control. Already had the strikeout looking, which was big, but in jeopardy of a walk here. This pitch is going to be popped up, foul territory, room for Horning. He's headed towards the fence, and it just escapes out and over. That thing kept tailing back and back and back. And unfortunately, when it came down, it would still mean life for Harrison Povey.
Yeah, he's due here, Devin. He reached an error back in the 3rd, also reached on a fielder's choice in the 5th. Although you don't have anyone to work with on base right now, you want to be able to at least get an extra base hit or 2 here to start considering how you score the extra runs for some insurance here if you're Falmouth.
Payoff pitch coming. On the outside corner, back-to-back backwards Ks for Will Pearson. Able to get a nice punch out there. Mariners toss it around the horn, and that will be out number 2 to turn the lineup card over.
We mentioned his ERA began to teeter a little bit in the wrong direction this season, but strikeout-wise, he was good. He had 13 through 22 innings. Strong pitcher with efficiency for Georgia. Rising junior still has a good deal of time to develop here in the collegiate phase.
Gavin Keelan will climb in, and the first pitch he sees, he flips in a shallow left field. Kennedy Jones lost it in the light, and going out is Culpepper. They collide. Culpepper made the catch, but Kennedy Jones did a barrel roll up in the air. He's slow up to his feet. Culpepper was able to haul it in and help out Jones, who had lost it in the lights. The two seem to be okay, and they'll laugh it off back to the dugout, but very tenderly. Mariners will take it. It's a 1-2-3 inning. Time to stretch here at Whitehouse. We'll see you on the other side of the break. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube Network. Bottom of the 7th inning. 8-9-1 due up for the Mariners. Call to the bullpen. Antoine Jean's night is over. He went he pitched, 2 innings. Allowed just 2 hits, no runs, no walks, and a strikeout. Or no strikeouts, excuse me. Kenny Lavari will dig in. He's 0 for 2, grounded out to first and lined out to the second baseman in Martin. As that one drops in there for a strike. This season, Casey Hunt made 23 appearances for the Bulldogs. Went 2-2, made just 1 start, the rest all in relief. Had a pair of saves and 8.54 ERA across his 39 innings pitched. And so, 0-2. The count now to Lavari.
Interestingly enough, Falmouth in its tie last night, Devin, only using 2 relief pitchers.
Swing and a miss. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night to Kenny Lavari. He goes down swinging. That will be the first out and the first strikeout for Hunt.
Yeah, it's just been a quiet night for Lavari, but you consider the depth that Falmouth has to use. Only using 2 last night. You're playing your 3rd game in a row here. Still have yet to use an off day. Likely to see, similar to what Harwich saw last night, no Orleans reliever actually pitched more than 2 innings.
That one going to be in there on the outside corner to make it 0-1. Horning on the day struck out and also popped out to first base. We'll see what he can do here, trying to get on base for the top of the order. As that one's going to be in there for a strike. Looks like a pinch hitter is getting ready on deck for the Mariners. Get you who that is once we identify the number. The pitch. This one through the bat by accident. Just slipped out of the hand of Horning. Threw it back towards the fence. 0-2 the count. Nope, not a pinch hitter. Forgive me. It was still Jacob Humphrey. He was just blocking the 6 on the front of his jersey. So false alarm. Forgive me. As Horning recollects his weapon, and he'll dig back into the right-handed side. 0-2 to count. Long look in from Hunt. Comes set. Pitching out of the stretch. And here it is. Bounced it in the dirt. So after 5 straight strikes to start the inning, the immaculate inning bid is over. It's 1-2 count. Horning behind the plate tonight. He didn't catch last night. Brian Arndt got the start, and he delivered a pair of hits and a pair of RBI for the UNC Wilmington catcher. Horning, big swing and a miss that time. Looked uncomfortable. And so 7 pitches and 2 strikeouts. Not a bad start for KC Hunt. 2 away.
Center fielder from UMass Lowell, number 36.
Falmouth pitching had begun to find a groove, particularly when you had Dorsey still in the ballgame before he was removed after the 4th. Had retired 5 straight, now 3 straight retired. These little ebbs and flows can certainly help Falmouth pitching settle back into this one.
Humphrey thought about it. Did he go around? No, says the first base umpire. So it'll be a 1-0 count. Now to Humphrey. Humphrey on the day struck out to start the game. He's also walked, swiped a bag, and flied out to center. 1-0. Misses downstairs. It'll be 2-0.
Definitely confidence-inducing here for Humphrey. Yet to collect a hit here today. Reached on a walk back in the 3rd. But a pair of strikeouts here early in the relief appearance for Hunt. Definitely has to be confidence-inducing at the same time when you're looking to strike out the side.
2 balls and a strike now to the UMass Lowell Riverhawk. Mariners with 3 hits, Commodores with 4. The Doors lead 2-1. They also have not committed an error. The Mariners have 3. Humphrey thought about that one, laid off, and it'll be a 3-1 count. On deck, Ali Camarillo. He's 0 for 3 today. A lot of Mariners having trouble getting the bat on the ball here today. 3-1. This is going to be grounded up the middle and into center field for a base hit. So Humphrey will cash in a single, and that will bring up Camarillo with a runner on.
just the nature of having good patience there. Humphrey getting that first base hit. Struck out swinging back in the first. You knew he was due at some point. And that sets up an interesting spot here for Ali Camarillo as the go-ahead run.
See what Camarillo can do. He's had an offer after a 2-hit day yesterday. You got speed on the base paths in Humphrey. He can go, and there he is. That one in the dirt, and Humphrey able to get down to second with a steal. So now it makes the job that much easier for Camarillo. You got speed at second, so a base hit ties the ball game. 4 hits aside, Commodores leading by a run.
Falmouth not scoring until the 4th inning yesterday against Bourne.
1-0. This one's going to be slapped into center field. Coming in is Handel, and he's under it to put it away. So the Mariners strand one in scoring position. On to the 8th we go. 2-1 Commodores on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back to the 8th inning here in Harwich. Commodores leading this one 2-1. It's going to be 2-3-4 due up for the Falmouth Commodores. Christian Martin, Charlie Condon, and Scott Bondura. Martin on the day, flied out to right, reached on a fielder's choice, but was stranded and also flied out to left. He watches ball one go by. Will Pearson back out there for his second inning of work. Was pretty good back in the 7th. 2 strikeouts looking, and a 1-2-3. 1-0. On the inside corner, a nice fastball that time. It'll be 1-1.
Good start to the year for Christian Martin. A trio of hits, trio of RBIs as well. Be a real jolt of energy to get a 5th hit here for Falmouth. And I tell you, it seems as if a 1-2 count is devastating to a lot of guys, but when you look at Christian Martin, I mean, he has been absolutely outstanding for Virginia Tech this season, and he's starting to carry that over here into the summertime.
Had high expectations out of high school as a number 5 shortstop in the state of Virginia before committing to Virginia Tech. Class of 2021. Count is 2-2 now to him. Cool night now in Whitehouse as my scorebook blows everywhere. That will be strike 3. 3rd strikeout for Will Pearson. He'll take that most certainly. First one by way of swinging. There's one down here in the 8th.
He opened up his appearance on the bump, the first on the season, with a pair of looking strikeouts, then blows it right by Martin that time. Everything blowing here.
First pitch coming to Condon. Right down the middle outer part of the plate. And it'll be 0-1. Condon hit a sacrifice fly in the 1st inning before grounding out to second. And then he singled in the 6th and stole a base, came around to score. what is currently the winning run for the Commodores. 1-1 the count to him as Pearson digs back in on the mound, pitching out of the stretch. Comes set at the waist and nods the pitch. Misses down in the dirt. It's 2-1. And Condon, someone who's really been great thus far. 3 for 11 coming into today, pair of RBIs. Been batting in the heart of that order all season for the Commodores. Big swing that time. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pearson's delivery also a little funky, coming just below the shoulder on the release as opposed to coming all the way over the top, and Falmouth hitters thus far having trouble picking it up. 2-2. Grounded on a couple bounces over to Culpepper. He gathers and fires a strike over to first. 6-3 the putout, and that's out number 2.
Seven straight retired here between Pearson and Shimoleski for Harwich. It's been season-long start for Shimoleski. Pearson has been quite effective in picking up right where he left off, forcing some strikeouts, fly out, a ground out now. He's really got the whole mix going here. Harwich, season-high 6 strikeouts for Sam Armstrong a couple of nights ago.
That pitch on the outer black, and it'll be 0-1 to start Scott Bondura. He reached on an error by Kalen Culpepper in the first inning before grounding out off the pitcher's glove, then to second. And then he also grounded out to the first baseman, Hunter Fitzgerald. 0-2 the count on a swinging strike. 2 away for the Commodores. Harwich trying to get the bats going in the bottom half of the inning. Here comes the 0-2 offering. That one is swung on and popped up to Culpepper over at shortstop. He tiptoes back to the outfield grass and hauls it in. 6 up, 6 down for Will Pearson. He looks great in his Cape Cod Baseball League debut. We'll take a quick break. Harwich coming up in crunch time on the other side. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube Network. Heart of the order coming up for the Mariners, 3-4-5. It'll be Culpepper, Jones, and Fitzgerald due up for the M's, trying to find a way to tie this game. Last chance they had to tie it was when Culpepper hit a single with 2 outs, and Kennedy Jones couldn't move him over. Mariners really struggling as of late. They haven't brought more than 4 batters to the plate since the 3rd inning. Just been going down pretty much in order, as Culpepper heading the count 1-0.
2-out hitting has just not been existent here today for Harwich. A bit similar to opening night. It's 0 for 8 with 2 outs there.
Culpepper flies this one into foul territory. Over to get it is the first baseman Condon, and he puts it away for out number 1. A very undramatic out number 1 for Culpepper. He's not pleased with himself as he heads back to the dugout.
And Harwich with only 2 hits in leadoff fashion here today. You have Kennedy Jones coming up here, someone who's gotten on base twice by the walk. But getting on base by the walk can only extend so many times unless you're able to really get numerous walks in a row and as well as a hit.
First pitch is fouled up over the Falmouth dugout. Jones, a player who's capable of changing this ball game with one swing of the bat, double-digit homers at UNC Greensboro. 330 down the line, both in left and right. 400 to dead center are the dimensions of Whitehouse. Really have to get a hold of it, especially in this cool summer night. One and one the count now to Jones, who on the day is 0 for 1. He's walked twice and also grounded out to the pitcher. Another foul, it's 1 and 2. Fitzgerald on deck. He would be followed by Seaver King should we get there. Mariners starting to go to the other half of the lineup. Most of the success has come from the top 5 in the lineup, though, as that one's ripped towards the Mariner bullpen. And so it'll be 1 and 2 once again.
Yeah, it's a time to start translating the success he had at Old Dominion. Leader in hitting there, hitched about 350 against right-handers, facing a right-hander here. It's where you need that first hit of the inning.
1-2. Thought about it. Did he go? Yes, says the first base umpire. I'm not sure I agree with that, but that's why I'm not wearing the black. And so that will be 2 outs. As going down swinging is Kennedy Jones. Third strikeout for KC Hunt. He's really looked brilliant, Wyatt.
He's looked brilliant, and he's also has 5 of 6 retired here for this Harwich lineup. You bring up Hunter Fitzgerald, who had an infield single back in the 6th, but 4 hits can only do so much. Right now, you don't have anyone to work with. There are 2 outs on the board. You need base runners in a hurry.
That one, excuse me, on the way back, actually the catcher in Highfield threw it off of Fitzgerald. Instead of getting it back to the pitcher, Fitzgerald seems to be okay, but that can't feel great. Maybe a little karma now. See if he can barrel one up. Ball and no strikes now. The pitch. That will be in there for a strike, and the count even at 1. 4 hits aside, score 2-1 in favor of the Commodores. 3 errors for the Mariners as opposed to none for the Falmouth Commodores, who came into today the worst defense in the Cape League. As that one's going to drop in there at the knees. Fitzgerald wants an explanation, and so it'll be 1 and 2.
Tough pitch to lay off there if you're Fitzgerald's. Harwich has seen some changeups in its first 2 games, and that time a beautiful pitch located on the lower half by Hunt.
1-2. This is going to be fouled back towards the restroom area here at Whitehouse. So we'll stay at 1 and 2. Only 3 games active right now in the Cape League. Of course, Katuah defeated Wareham earlier 3-2. 1-2 pitch in the dirt. And YD defeated Brewster 8-6. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The deuce is wild here at Whitehouse. See what Fitzgerald can do on the day. 1 for 3 with a single. That was the victim of a fielder's choice ground out by King. This pitch misses up high, and the count is worked full.
Plate appearance really starting to turn the favor of Fitzgerald here. Someone who has a team-high 3 walks. That came last night against Orleans. He's very much capable of adding walks regardless of the number of outs on the board here, but it's about what they can do behind him if he's able to reach here with those outs starting to dwindle on the board.
3 balls, 2 strikes. 2 away here and nobody on base. Commodores trying to push this game to the 9th and postpone Englert's 400th win ceremony. This one's going to be lined into the gap in center field. Over to handle it is Handel, no pun intended, And it'll be a 2-out single for Fitzgerald. Mariners are in business.
First hit since the 6th for Fitzgerald's. First one to leave the infield here today. Just a 2-hit situation that Harwich needs here. Looks like it's going to be a pinch runner here for Harwich.
Eric Arado will be doing the pinch running, as Fitzgerald is taken out of the game.
Your attention, please. Pinch running for Harwich at first base. From Old Dominion. Correction, from Northern Illinois, number 14, Eric Arado.
So digging in is Seaver King. He does have a hit and has scored the only run for the Mariners.
Number 25, Seaver King.
First pitch to him is going to be in there at the knees for a strike. So Fitzgerald did his job, and his night will be over. On deck, Matt Scannell, so some power in the on-deck circle for the Mariners. Trying to extend this inning and get back on the scoreboard. The pitch. There goes the runner, and it will be fouled back to make it 0-2. Hit and run in play there. King just couldn't connect.
Could be a high-risk, high-reward situation here. You know that you're getting some speed on the base pass with Arado. Made his debut in the 9 spot yesterday for Harwich. Coming in a different situation here. Seaver King has to be able to capitalize here with 1 hit already. Came across the score on that RBI ground out, but you want to be able to at least put it past the infield here. You don't have to go back to the wall.
Waggling his bat, the pitch. There goes the runner, but it's strike 3. Anyway, drop third. They're going to have to go down to first, and they get him just in time. So, 2 strikeouts. Help KC Hunt to get through the 8th. Going to the 9th and final frame here at Whitehouse. 2-1 Commodores. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back. Will Pearson to the hill for his 3rd inning of work, but some defensive changes for the M's. Scannell moves to first from right field as Fitzgerald was pinch run for. Eric Arado moves out to right field. And so it'll be 5, 6, 7 due up for the Commodores. Ross Highfill starting things off. He's 1 for 3. Grounded out to shortstop, grounded out to third, and then singled and stole a base in the 6th. First pitch just misses the inside corner, 1-0. Pearson has shut down all 6 batters that he's faced in his 2 innings of work. Also has 3 strikeouts to go along with that. Trying to give his team a chance to stay in the game, 1-0. Nice off-speed pitch. Fell off the table, and it's 1-1. Highfield, was the designated hitter last game. Hitting the 7 spot. Went 1 for 3, as mentioned, with the homer, and so gets rewarded by being boosted in the lineup. 2 balls and a strike now to him. Pearson trying to work his way off the hill. The pitch. Misses inside. It's 3-1.
Fastball just not on the plate that time Just down at the knees inside. I'll have to locate it better here if he wants to battle back.
And the pitch. This one's going to be grounded softly, actually off the foot of the batter in Highfill. He's going to be rolling around on the ground in pain. Seems to be okay as he pops up and tries to walk it off, but that never feels good. Mariners will have Horning head out to the mound to buy the batter some time in Highfill. Mike Handel on deck. He's 1 for 3. Three balls, 2 strikes. Highfill battling against Pearson. Payoff pitch. Checked his swing. Did he go? No, says the first base umpire. Another close call, but it'll be the first base runner that Pearson has allowed, and it comes here in the 9th to start things off.
You get 6 up and 6 down in your season debut here. If you're Pearson, you have to feel at least somewhat gratified you were able to get him down to a payoff pitch, and the check swing just didn't go your way. Handle coming up now has a little bit to work with.
Starts him off with a ball. It's 1-0 outside. Handel singled in the 4th inning. Also was grounded out twice to both middle infielders. Comes the 1-0. On the inside corner for a strike, it's 1-1. Not too much speed in Highfill over on first base, but Falmouth has been aggressive base running. See what they elect to do with him. Pitch misses outside. It'll be 2-1. Mariners with 5 hits, Falmouth with 4. Orleans Firebirds were held to 4 hits last night against the Mariners, so pitching has been great, just the offense not clicking here tonight. Bet the Mariners wish they could have some of those runs from yesterday given over today.
Just early chances that Harwich blew. You leave 5 combined on in the 1st and the 3rd. Certainly can't take those for granted. You still have a chance to come up in the 9th.
3-1. Big swing and a miss. Might have helped him out, as that pitch probably was a ball low and away. But Handel got a little excited, and so the count has worked full for the 2nd straight time. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Pearson battles all the way back and earns his 4th strikeout. Really nice job to pitch around the 3-1 count, and that will be out number 1 here in the 9th.
Strongly located fastball that time. He went with the high heat. 6th strikeout here for Harwich pitching, a team very much capable of racking up strikeouts. Trailing by 1 here. You have your bottom third of the lineup coming up. You need a quick 2 outs here. Ground ball double play opportunity available.
First pitch is going to be a breaking ball in there for a strike on the outer part of the plate. 0-1. Due up for the Mariners in the 9th is going to be Scannell, Lavari, and Horning. As they take a look over at first base, back in there safely is Highfill. Here comes the 0-1. Nope. Going to take another look over at Highfill at first. Trying to make sure he doesn't go anywhere. Mariners, the way this game has been, already going to struggle to score runs and don't want it to get any worse. No balls, 1 strike. There goes the runner. The throw from Horning is a little high and it skips into center field. Luckily, good backup from Jacob Humphrey. Horning must have really been excited to whip that one down because had the runner dead to rights with a good throw, just unfortunately overshot it, and so it'll be a stolen base for Highfill. He takes off and he's in scoring position now.
So it certainly brings you a good sense of relief if you're this Falmouth lineup, knowing that you have guys who are willing to advance themselves on the base pass and put more stress here on the reliever.
0-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Got him. Strikeout number 5 for Will Pearson as he collects Michael Eze's 3rd strikeout. And And so that will be out number 2.
Number 10, Tucker Biven.
It's a really nice balance of pitches that we're seeing here from Pearson, going to off speed as well as the fastball. 7 strikeouts as a staff here for Harwich. You need just one more here. Still have a vacant base to fill if you're unable to get a quick out on the ground or in the air.
Tucker Biven digs in. Watches strike 1 come in at the knees. Biven on the day 0 for 3, grounded out to short. He's also reached on an error and struck out looking. The first of the 5 men that have been retired by way of the K of Pearson. This one's going to be grounded towards the hole over to second, but it slows down. Camarillo plenty of time to get it there. And that will be the end of the top of the 9th. 4 batters is all it takes for Pearson to get out of it. He's only faced 10 through 3 innings. Mariners bats need to go to work, though. Find out on the other side of the break. It's going to have to be something memorable for Coach Englert's 400th. We'll see you in a bit on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Seven, 8, 9 for the Mariners. Looking for some Mariner magic here in the bottom of the 9th. Matt Scannell, who on the day is 0 for 3. He's popped out to the catcher, grounded out to first, and popped out to the pitcher. Not his best offensive game, but he is more than capable of a big hit in a big spot. So here we go. Back out to the hills, Casey Hunt. First pitch to Scannell. Breaking ball dropped in there for a strike. It's 0-1.
No hits combined through the lower third of the lineup here at Devon. Doesn't mean a chance is gone here. It just means it's a new chance, period.
0-1. It's going to be chopped foul over toward the Commodore dugout. It'll be 0-2. Top of the 8th inning, Hyannis on top of Chatham 6-3. And in the top of the 9th, Orleans on top of Bourne 6-4. Those are the only active games other than the one we're watching right here. 0-2. Checked his swing. Did he go? Yes, says the third base umpire, and the right call at that. So that will be a strikeout. The 5th for Casey Hunt. He's really settled in here. Just faced 9 batters through 2 1/3. Kenny Lavari's turn. He's grounded out to first, lined out to second, and struck out at the hands of Casey Hunt already. He's going to get his second chance at him. Hunt's now faced everyone in the Mariner order. Back to Lavari, first man he faced. First pitch, misses up high, and it's 1-0.
You said there weren't as many games active as earlier, Devin. Katuitt beating Wareham 3-2. Take a guess at how short that game was.
1-0 pitch in there for a strike. 2:15.
2:05.
Wow, that is a quick one for sure. It has been about 2:16 here, so not a very long game here either. A ball and a strike now to Lavari. And he watched another strike drop in on the outer half. So hard to judge because that late breaking movement is just catching the outer part of the plate, and these Mariners hitters are left to just watch and admire a beautiful pitch from Hunt. He does not look like a guy who's had an ERA as high as it was in his college season. That is for sure. 1-2. Misses up and away. 2-2. Jackson Horning's on deck. Should we get a chance for him to move Lavari around, that would be awesome. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Might have got a piece of it, but nonetheless, it's hung onto by Scott Heifel. And so that will be out number 2, back-to-back, or excuse me, 3 straight strikeouts dating back to the last inning. And so last life for the Mariners is Jackson Horning. He's 0 for 3, struck out twice, and also has popped out to first. The pitch. Right on the outer part of the plate for a strike. A nice fastball that time from Hunt.
8 of the last 10 retired here by Hunt. He's really settled in. You notice the fastball is working really well in the zone. Harwich not being able to catch up right now despite having a slight advantage in the hit column.
Pitch is going to be, fouled off. And so now down to the last strike are the Mariners. 0-2. Horning trying to keep the inning alive for the top of the order. Jacob Humphrey on deck. And here's the pitch. Down in the dirt, 1-2. Game stays alive. 2-1 Commodores. 5 hits for the M's, 4 for the Commodores. 3 errors for the Mariners, though, and 0 for Falmouth. Coming set is Hunt. Rocks and fires. Misses down in the dirt once again. 2 balls and 2 strikes here with 2 away.
Got some great relief pitching. Jean going 2 clean innings, not getting you a strikeout or even a walk for that matter, inducing a lot of flying ground ball contact. And it's gone back the other way since Dorsey started. Got 3 strikeouts here despite allowing the 5 walks.
2-2. Just misses outside, and the count is worked full. Nice at bat from Horning. After being down 0-2, draws 3 straight balls. Here we go. We'll see if he can get on. Speed as well. Humphrey on deck, followed by Camarillo. The pitch. This is going to be chopped over to the shortstop. Going to be a long throw for Keelan, and it's not there in time. An infield single for Jackson Horning. And so the game will stay alive.
You say staying alive. Well, Horning finally getting on base here. You knew he was due at some point. Fell victim to 2 stringing strikeouts, and surely enough, he's alive on the base pass, and the top of the order comes alive as well in Jacob Humphrey.
Ryan Wilson will be sent to pinch run for Jackson Horning. Jacob Humphrey on the day. He's 1 for 3. He's also walked. Stolen a couple bases as well. First pitch to him. He's going to miss down low for a ball. 1-0.
Number 36, Jacob Humphrey.
So here you go. All the marbles on the table. 1 swing of the bat could send Coach Englert to his 400th win. Will it happen tonight? 1 ball, no strikes. Runner on first, 2 away. Here it is. Swing and a miss. Big one from Humphrey that time. And count is even at 1. Hunt has 6 strikeouts already through just 2 2/3 innings pitched. 6 of the 8 outs have come by way of the K. He's been sensational trying to pitch his way out of this one. 1-1. Breaking ball on the outer corner, and it'll be 1-2.
Humphrey's now seen his 3 pitches from Hunt, has to protect. High fastball, you know you have to go.
Plenty of room on the right side of the infield. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Hunt comes set. Kicks and delivers. On the outside corner for strike 3. Humphrey goes down looking, and that's the ball game. The Mariners earn their first loss of the season, 2-1, and Coach Englert's 400th win ceremony will have to be postponed. We'll take a quick break and come back for the quick post-game show here in Harwich. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube Network. Welcome into the Mariners postgame show. Devin Dobek, Wyatt Kopelman along with you. The Mariners fall in heartbreaking fashion 2-1 with the tying runner on base. Mariners out-hit the Commodores 6-4, but made 3 errors to the Commodores 0. A tough one to really swallow, especially when you think about Engler having the chance to win number 400 at home in a really close, competitive interleague game. But now he's going to have to go out to Wareham with a chance to do it. But Wyatt, what was the problem tonight for the Mariners?
I mean, Devin, you almost can't look past the 10 strikeouts for this lineup. You get 27 strikeouts over the course of 3 games, albeit you have 2 wins to start your season here. 1 loss at home now for Harwich. You have to be able to move on quickly going into tomorrow.
Yeah, the Mariners also stranded 8 runners on base, including the bases loaded back in inning number 3 and 2 men on in the first. So just unfortunately couldn't cash in at the proper times, and it really stunk. But what an outing from Tom Shimoleski. He did earn the loss, unfortunately, but he went 6 complete innings, allowed just 4 hits and 2 earned runs to go along with 2 strikeouts and no walks. He was fantastic. Will Pearson also great for the M's. 3 innings pitched, no earned runs, no hits allowed, and he struck out 5 to just 1 walk. But the Falmouth Commodores did a little better. The win will go to Antoine Jean after his 2 complete innings. He allowed just the 2 hits, no strikeouts, no walks, no runs. Casey Hunt earns a 9-out save, very impressive by him. Surrendered just 3 hits, no walks, 7 strikeouts. 7 of the 9 batters that were retired were by way of the K. So a great job by Casey Hunt to come in when his team needed him most and deliver. But Wyatt, any final takeaways or things that can be improved before the game at Wareham tomorrow at Spillane Field?
Well, you see the incremental progress in getting deeper starts out of your starting guys. Shimoleski going a season-long 6 innings after you get a pair of 4-inning starts out of Sam Armstrong as well as Tim Noon yesterday in Orleans. So the deep starts are going to come by for Harwich, excuse me, but you take a look at the missed opportunities late. Harwich had a chance to bring in the game-tying run, if not the game-winning run here in the ninth, striking out 10 times, not endorsing at home, but you have to be able to move on. Of course, Harwich, as you said, leaving the bases loaded in the third, left a pair on in the first. And if you're Casey Hunt, you feel a great sense of fulfillment being able to come out in relief. You retired 9 of 12 despite allowing 3 hits to this Harwich lineup that seriously hit the ball hard last night in Orleans for 12 hits despite leaving 7 on there. Harwich having to take advantage of chances sooner on in the ball game. Had 3 runs in the second inning here in its home opener, but it's a matter of how it stays consistent to be able to stay as a top hitting team in the Cape Cod Baseball League and therefore a top team in the East standings of the league.
A game that lasted just 2 hours and 23 minutes here from Whitehouse. Final score once again 2-1 in favor of the Commodores. Falmouth improves to 1-1-1. Harwich drops to 2-1, their first loss of the season. One last time, Coach Englert shooting for win number 400. Be sure to tune into that one. That's at 6 p.m. on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network to listen to the call of that one. Winning pitcher, Antoine Jean, picks up the W. The loss goes to Tom Shimoleski with the save going to Casey Hunt. Final box score, Falmouth 2, Harwich 1. 4 hits for the Commodores, 6 for the Mariners, 3 errors for Harwich, and 0 for Falmouth. But that just about will wrap things up. On behalf of our producer, Sean Sears, my partner, Wyatt Kopelman, and myself, Devin Dobek, thank you so much for tuning into the Harwich Mariners.